What's up, guys? Welcome to another video. Thank you for being here. I appreciate all of you. In case this is your first time here, my name is Betty. Welcome to the family, and please feel free to watch all the other videos. We have a lot of videos here, and if you haven't subscribed, please consider subscribing to the channel. That's a good way of supporting me. And asanteni sana. Today we're gonna talk about tipping. Should you tip? Should you not? And do you believe in tipping? Do you guys tip in your country? Where you are, do you tip? In the US, that is very common. People like to tip here a lot. People, not everyone, but in the US, people tip a lot. So when you come here, don't feel the pressure of tipping just because you hear Betty saying people love to tip. And by the way, not that I'm talking about tipping that will give you the pressure, but there's something called those iPad tipping. When you go to pay something, like you go to Starbucks, and the first thing that comes before the payment is do you want to tip, So let's talk about tipping and when should you tip. So for me, I like to tip based off the services I receive. If I go to a restaurant, you give me a good service as a waiter, I will tip you for sure, definitely. Some places, some restaurants, they suggest 20%, 25%, 15%, it's up to you to decide what kind of percentage you should give. I know here in the US, they make you feel pressured, like it really makes you uncomfortable sometimes. Because like for me, I go to somewhere, not a restaurant. Let's say, for example, I go to like a coffee shop. I buy coffee. I go to Starbucks, I buy coffee, or not just Starbucks, like some other place, I buy something. And I can see, honestly, the waiter or whoever is giving me the service did not do so much. Like they're just handing me like food, or they're just giving me something that is already prepared. There's nothing much they did, it's not like they did a whole lot. And then when they give you the tablet to pay, or the thing to pay, it's asking you for the tip. You feel like, why are you asking me for the tip? What did you do? In fact, what I'm paying is a lot. I always have that feeling. In those cases, I don't tip, or sometimes I can be very uncomfortable and feel the pressure, and I just click on standard tip, like standard amount or the least amount, and you take off some tip. But in most cases, it makes you very uncomfortable, when it's suggested right there. So for me, what doesn't make me uncomfortable is when I go to like a restaurant, I can see the service, I can see the waiter is trying, they're coming to ask how the service is, how the food is. I like to tip in those cases. So for the people who are not in the US already, one thing I can tell you, if you go to, like now I'm outside this steakhouse, it's called Longhorn, I'm out here. If I go to a restaurant like this and I sit down to eat, the server will come, they will ask if I want a drink. First of all, there's someone who is showing us the seats, and then because here in most cases when you go to restaurants, you don't sit yourself, you have to wait to be seated. That's how they do it. You have to stand at the front there and wait to be seated. So they will show you where to sit, and then comes another person who is your server, and they will start serving you. They'll start with the drinks, and some of them are really kind. The servers, they will be like suggest, because in most cases and I've seen this with people from home a lot, like you're coming from Africa or from another country, and you don't know the food here, you're not you don't know much about it's normal, it's understandable. So don't ever feel embarrassed to ask them. Like for me, if I don't know anything in a restaurant, like I don't know what the drinks are, I usually ask them, what's your most popular drink here? Like what's your most popular cocktail? They'll be more than happy. So don't stress yourself. Like for me, I'm not picky. I know some people are very picky. Like For example, people from Kenya, you know, our Kisii tribe. Kisiis are very picky with food and picky. If you're Kisii, you're watching this video, just know that I know you people, you're very picky, very particular. You know, they are very picky. So when it comes to going to places like that and you don't know the drinks and you're not picky, just ask, what is your popular drink here? Or what is your most people favorite here? And they will tell you. They'll be more than happy. I've gone to a lot of places and asked that and end up having, or you know, sometimes you can say, you can ask the waiter, I want to try something new today. You just pretend, I want to try something new today, but what's your favorite? I'll go with your favorite. And they'll tell you, my favorite is this, you know, and they'll pick something that is their favorite. It's always good to try. You can try. Maybe some of these waiters, they know what is good, what moves fast, what sells fast, so they'll tell you. So don't ever be embarrassed, or don't ever feel like I don't know. Always ask a question. So if you see your waiter is really trying, going an extra mile, very patient with you, and always willing to give you extra service, you know, like trying their best, that is one waiter you don't want to go without tipping. You can give the 20% tip, you can give the 15%, 20%, 25%, depending. You can even give more, you know, based on their service. But if you go to some restaurants and you can tell the attitude, the waiter is catching some feelings and they have attitude, they're too busy for your table, they're not asking. And you know, here, as soon as you receive, okay, let's say you ordered your food and they'll write, then the people from the kitchen, they'll bring you the food, right? The chefs will bring you the food at the table. Most of the steakhouses, the chefs will bring you the steak. And the waiter will come back and ask you, how is the food taste like? How is the food so far? They'll keep asking. Sometimes they can ask too much. And me, I don't mind. I'll be like, it's good. You know, I'll go like thumbs up. If I don't want to talk, I'll be like, perfect, that's good, wonderful, you know, just to assure them. So those are the kind of waiters you want to tip for sure. But if you see this waiter, the service is terrible, nobody is paying attention, nobody is giving you attention, nobody is asking, what are you drinking, what are you eating, for me, I will not tip. I don't know about you, but if the service is terrible, I will not tip. I will not even tip at all. Some people are very good at running to the back to the website to give reviews, bad reviews, especially Americans. They are so good at giving reviews, good or bad. For me, I don't really have the time to go give reviews. I'll tell you right. I mean, I won't give you the tip. You know, for me not giving you the tip, you'll know your service was not good, so you should work on it. I don't know if there's any time I've given a review. I think maybe one time on Amazon to say how good my dress was, but I've never given. But here people give reviews a lot. They will go on the website and, like, for me being an Uber driver, if I give bad service, people will review me bad, people will call Uber, people will not tip me. And not everybody that doesn't tip, because most people, they don't nowadays, a lot of people are not tipping, not because of the service is bad, but maybe, you know, maybe their trip was very expensive, because, you know, it's not cheap to use Uber. So maybe you're using Uber a lot and the trips are not cheap, so you feel like you don't want to put more money in, you have already paid. And let me tell you guys, if you don't know me as an Uber driver, whatever I receive on my pay, just know that is not the amount you paid already. Because let's say your ride charged you $20, for me that will not come to me. Remember, we are splitting this money with Uber. Uber will take like 40%. Yes, they take a huge, I feel like sometimes they take like 50%, or even sometimes they feel like they take more. So just know, if you get a ride, Uber takes a lot of money. Uber, Lyft, these ride share companies, they take a portion out of it. So if you're paying your driver, just know this driver is depending on that tip, because the amount they're getting paid is is not what you paid, it's less. So just know that giving something extra will take them a long way, will help a lot. So don't ever feel like, oh, I paid $40 for the ride. No, the driver did not receive $40. Maybe the driver received $20 or $25 out of the 40, you know. And so don't ever feel like the driver is the one, you are paying the driver. Always know that you are paying the app, you are paying the company, and the company will give something. Your tip, the company does not take your tip. So if you tip me $10, it will come to me 100%. $10 will come to me. And remember, I still have to pay taxes for that tip, because when I do my taxes, tip is included there. So if you don't want the driver to pay taxes for those tips, you can give cash tips, you know. So I'm just giving some hands up, you know, because some people don't know. Some people, they think, oh, if I pay for the ride, it's all going to the driver. No, it doesn't go to the driver, not all of it, a little portion. So most of the time we depend on these tips. If you give me a tip, I'll be very happy. I'm always look forward. You don't have to. If anybody don't give me a tip, I don't get mad. I don't change my services, the way I treat people. Like, I always make sure my car is clean. I always make sure I say hello. I always make sure I have a conversation. If you are in a mood of conversations, when I get to the airport, if someone is going to the airport, I step out very quickly. I grab their bags, I put them in a trunk, I close my trunk, I come inside, and I make sure I wish you a wonderful flight, and I give you excellent service. It's up to you to decide if you want to tip me or not. If we get to the airport, when I stop the car, I step out quickly, I go grab your suitcases, I put them down, I close it, and I wish you a wonderful flight. So you'll know, okay, maybe she give me a good service, maybe I'll tip her. Some people, even after doing all that, they still won't tip you. I wouldn't be mad and treat the other person less because this first one did not tip me. No, you should not change your services as, you know, maybe if you're a service provider, if you're providing any sort of services, you shouldn't change the way you treat people just because people are not tipping you. Even if we depend on those tips, it doesn't mean that services should change. A lot of times here in the US, services are excellent, good service. I don't know where you live, but here customer service in a lot of places are excellent. Yes, of course, in sometimes you'll meet somebody having a bad day and they'll treat you weird, but not a lot, you know, not a lot. Me, I can say 90% of the times you go anywhere here, you go to the bank, you go to the store, you go anywhere, wherever you go, the services are excellent. Yeah, and people here, they like to sue, people like to complain, people like to give bad reviews. So the companies, mostly they give trainings a lot. They will train you on how to behave, they will train you on how to handle the customer, they will train you on how to you know, like they'll train you, they'll give you training. And that's why most of the time you're doing a lot of training. But I believe treating people with respect and treating people kindly goes a long way. And yeah, I mean, there's no secret into if providing any sort of service, there's no secret into how you can be getting more tips. I believe to get more tips would depend on your service to the people. So should you tip, you as a customer? It depends on, are you a giver? Do you like to tip? Are you a tip? Do you believe in tipping? And if you don't, you should. Honestly, from today, you need to change your mentality. If you go somewhere, tip that waiter. This person is running around, my God, even during holidays, you go to a restaurant, Christmas time, you expect somebody to come and serve you because, you know, you expect good service. If you get that good service, it's Christmas, for God's sake, tip that. Not just Christmas, any day when you go to a restaurant, make a habit. Even if you're in Africa, make a habit of tipping someone. If the service is worth it, tip. If you go to like a hotel room and you come back and your room is spotless, your things are intact, nobody is touching your stuff, you can leave a little $20 on top for your cleaning person. When they come back, they'll find your things there. And you know, I have a friend of mine that likes to do that. Like every time they go to a hotel, they will leave some money on top, and they said, you know what, if you want, your things not to go missing, make sure you leave them a tip. That way they'll give you extra. They'll give you extra towels, they'll give you extra everything, soap. You know, and it's a good thing, you know. So it's like, do unto others how you like, treat others how you like them to treat you, and also do unto others how you like them to do to you, you know, something like that. Something like that. So yeah, you don't have to tip, but it's good to tip, you know. That's how I feel. Like, it's good to tip. If the service is good, it's good to tip. If somebody treats you not good, you have a right to complain. You have a right to speak to the manager, or you know, you have a right to speak to whoever, their supervisor, and say, by the way, your waiter is bad. Your waiter is not good, the way they are treating us. I did not like the service here. It's good to say something. For me, I'm very good at that, by the way. I like to say something. I'm not good at going back to write on the website. I'm very good at saying something and say, but I just don't like the way I'm treated here. What's wrong, you know? And I'll speak my mind, you know. So anyway, a lot of times people get in relationships, and maybe you as a woman, you are a tipper, and the guy you are dating is not a tipper. You don't have to feel offended. You can talk to them about, hey, you want to give them a tip, or you yourself, you can just tip. Not just the guy you are dating, but maybe you go out with your girlfriend, or you go out with your friends, your buddy from work. If you're a guy, maybe you go with your boys, and maybe your boys are not tippers, you know, they don't believe in tipping, and they're the ones paying. Feel free, you know, to always go back to your pocket and give that tip. You know, it doesn't hurt. If you're taking me to lunch, even as a friend, and I see you have actually, I'm not gonna wait for you to tip. I'll offer. I'll say, by the way, thank you for paying, but I'm the one to tip. I'll tip. So pull that $20 and leave it on the table, or just tip, because this person has paid the meal. I understand it can be expensive. You pay the meal for two. Okay, I'll tip. It's good, you know. So yeah, tipping is very, very important. By the way, waiters don't get paid a whole lot. They get like minimum wage. In most restaurants, waiters get minimum wages. So when you tip, it helps them big time. Yeah. So if you receive service, if you go to car wash, even if I'm talking to even you being in Africa, even if you go to car wash, if you go to your wherever you go, just know that tip does magic. Ukijua, this is my mechanic, I have paid for, I paid for this amount for the service. That is for the service. Go back to your pocket and give them an extra 1,000 shillings. You know, I'm using shillings for those people in Kenya. Or if you are in Ghana, give 1,000 cedis or whatever. I mean, whatever you amount, give something extra. I'm not telling you the amount, but I'm just saying, give something extra and say, and this is for you. Thank you for your work. If you go to a barber shop, if you go to a hairdresser, the hair looks nice, pay the amount and then say, I'm giving you this extra. This is extra for the tip. If you have your nails done, give tip, depending on the service, you know. I think if I go to Kenya, I'll be broke because I'll give a lot of tips. You know, I get service, but I know mostly in Africa, services are not the same. Customer services in like supermarkets and banks, they're not the same as here. I'm not saying people are bad, but not everywhere people treat you with kindness. Some people can be nasty back home. Some people can treat you like you're bothering them. It's like you are a bother. You are a customer, but they'll act like you're bothering. I'm saying because I remember I remember the services. Maybe now people changed. It has been almost a decade since I left home. Almost 10 years. And I'm praying to God to make a way for me to to go, because 10 years, imagine not seeing your country. Well, not 10 years, 9 years. It's been 9 years. I need to go and see if services have changed, or if people have changed the way they are talking to you, if people are patient enough. And yeah, I don't know. I haven't been in a long time. That's a long time, by the way, guys. So yeah, I hope that answers the question of if people come to the US, should they tip? If you feel pressured, just always take a moment to breathe in and out, and remember, you are the one who can control your own self. Whether you want to tip, you are You are your own, it's your money, you know, it's your money. Don't feel like, hey, these people are giving me the iPad with all these suggested tips. It's your money, girl. It's your money, honey. Just don't feel the pressure. Don't let that pressure hit you. I know for me, sometimes I feel embarrassed and I'm like, ooh, am I gonna tip? Guy, they're looking at me like, because some people, they'll look at you like, is she gonna tip, you know? So don't feel the pressure. I think America really pressures people to tip as much as it's is like a way of appreciating good service. Here they kind of make you feel so pressured. I don't understand, and I don't know if tipping should be banned, but I don't think it should. What should be banned is suggesting and taking away tip. By there, some places they take away tips. Not even without you suggesting, they will take away 20%. Some places they will just automatically take away the tip. So I think that should be banned. But putting a jar there or whatever is suggested on the tablet, you shouldn't make you feel some type of way, you know. Thank you for watching my video. I'm not going to make it long because I have to go and expect that today, you know, I always say, oh my God, help me to get a lot of tips today. They help me, you know, like here, I've been folding my cash tips. Guys, somebody took my dollars. Oh, it's here. I've been keeping, yesterday I got these tips, cash tips, yeah, not on the app. So somebody tipped me, this is like this was from an old lady, like in her 80s or 90s. She tipped me the $3. I appreciate it. Another person tipped me the $5. They'll say here, and another person tipped me $5. So I put it all together here. I'm gonna have a little box where I'll be putting, I want this money to be like a piggy bank, so that by the end of the year, when I open my piggy bank, I can appreciate myself by, you know, by using that money to do something that will help me. Thank you for watching the video. I appreciate you guys. It's kind of cold in Arizona. Don't wonder why I have the belt on. I have the jumper on. I can't wait to go home and buy more of this, different colors, because I've had this for years. I can't wait to go and buy a lot of stuff from Africa. My God, I can't wait. And yeah, thank you guys. Let me go to work. Asanteni, I'll see you on the next video. Bye.